Hello, lovely theater kids. This week on our Monday London vlog, I'm going to be reviewing my first ever West End show, The Woman in Black. Now, if you know me, I'm really not one for scary movies. Literally, the only scary movie I've ever been able to watch in full, multiple times actually, is the recent movie The Forest with Natalie Dormer. And that movie is like not scary at all. And that's about as far as I can go. So I will be completely honest and say I was very nervous going into this show. It was one I really wanted to see. I've always been told it's an amazing show, and it's an amazing show tech-wise and acting-wise, and so I really, really wanted to see it. And I actually, if you look at my ticket, I bought a £19 ticket, the cheapest I could go. Oops. And I was originally in the upper circle, in seat F15, but I got to the ticket office to claim my ticket. I didn't have an assigned seat when I bought. It's basically like a voucher, and so like the day of, they give you the best available seat for the price you paid. So I paid £19, so I was assuming that I was going to be like in the way back in the nosebleed to the balcony, but I got to the ticket stand and they're like, no, actually, we're going to give you an upgrade because there's seats available downstairs. And so I was in D11 in the stalls, which is like what we consider the orchestra in America. And I was in the fourth row center, and it was an incredible show from that level, seeing it from down there. For those of you who don't know, the story of The Woman in Black centers around a man named Arthur Kipps, who has experienced this paranormal phenomena of the woman in black. And the story goes, if the woman in black is seen, a child dies, be it by any circumstance. And this has plagued him so much that he needs to get this out, and that his story needs to be told in order to rid himself of the pain of it. So he writes himself a manuscript and takes it to an actor who will help him perform it. Throughout the play, this actor takes on the role of Mr. Kipps, whereas the real Mr. Kipps plays every other character in the show, aside from the woman in black herself. So, as you can see, this is only a 3-person show. The stage barely changes, and it was an incredible experience to watch. Okay. So first things first, let's talk about the acting of this show. Malcolm James as Arthur Kipps was wonderfully hysterical and suspenseful as an actor, and he just brought a lot to that role and all of the other roles he played throughout the performance. Each character was different, and you can always distinguish who he was by his mannerisms and the way he spoke. Now, obviously in a show like this where there is one person playing multiple characters, you can usually tell by the costume they're wearing who they're playing, but there were times where a costume would change for a character, but you still had a clear understanding of who Mr. James was playing. Matt Connor as the actor was absolutely incredible. He brought so much to this role. And he had me on the edge of my seat, waiting and watching to see what was going to happen next. The entire point of this story is that it is a retelling of Kipps's own tales, but you forget that they're not doing a play within a play. The point of this entire piece is that it is a retelling of Kipps's own experiences. But as an audience member, you tend to forget that they are doing a play within a play. You feel like you are actually there, and that the actor actually is Mr. Kipps, and you are going through this with him. You are seeing the woman in black. You are experiencing this paranormal entity with him, and feeling afraid for him, and being scared with him as these events unfold throughout the play. Now, let's go to the woman in black herself. Now, this actress actually has no mention in the program. She has no lines in the show. She literally just comes on to scare the crap out of you. There are times where her entrances are a little, like, they make you giggle a little bit because they are really out of nowhere. especially her first entrance. They are at the funeral, and she just casually walks down the aisle, walks up the stairs onto the stage, and into the aisle of the church. Now, mind you, because they're doing this as like a play within a play, and it's very minimalistic play within a play, they don't have like church pews or anything of that nature. So like she walks down what would be the center aisle of the church and like scoots into a pew, and you see her like sidestep into the pew, and the actor who is playing Mr. Kipps, the actor who is playing Mr. Kipps, I have to define that because there are two, looks over at her, and it's just really not necessarily like awkward, but it's just kind of like a funny moment. Like, that is our first sighting of the woman in black. It's just like very casual and like nonchalant, and then every other time that she shows up in the show, it's basically like to scare the crap out of you. Like, she just like bursts out of somewhere, or like starts screaming or something. It just scares the crap out of you. I will admit there were some times where I was looking down in my lap because I did not want to see what was going to happen on stage, because I hate being jump scared, and I'm one of those people who in a film, like when I watch it, I can always tell when a jump scare is coming. And so there is like the one big door on stage, and just you can tell that it's going to be like swung open with nobody on the other side. Or I had this theory that one of the times that it was going to swing open, or he would open it, the woman in black would be standing there. And so like every time he went over to that door, like I had my head in my lap. I was like, nope, I know this is going to happen. I know it's going to jump scare. Like, no. Couldn't do it. But there were some times that I wasn't expecting the jump scares, and they just kind of like happened, and I did jump a little bit. What was really funny though, because I went to a matinee, there were a lot of school groups there, and behind me there was basically an entire classroom's worth of teenage girls who had come with their class to see this. And it was more of a laugh to me at some of the jump scares, because some of the girls, like, I would not be fazed at all by a jump scare, but there would be a girl in the back who would like scream so loudly, and I couldn't help but giggle at it. Now, the one jump scare that did really freak me out was the final one. Now, really this isn't a spoiler, so I'm gonna say it. So obviously, after seeing the woman in black multiple times, Arthur Kipps's son is killed in an accident, and then his wife dies of her injuries of that same accident 10 months later. But as he is describing the accident, basically there's this loud boom of sound effect, and the woman in black bursts through this back curtain with strobe lights and loud screaming, and not only screaming from the audience, but like screaming from the sound system. And that was the only one that really like jump scared me, because like I could tell it was probably gonna come, but I never knew when. And then it just like happened out of the blue, and I was like, oh my god, okay, calm down, we're good. And then the show ended, and that is where we reveal the twist ending. Now, of course, if any of you know The Woman in Black, you know about the twist ending. Now, I'm not going to give away the twist ending because I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I will say I felt like I was watching an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Basically, like, the thing in a Shyamalan horror film is there is always a twist. Like, there is always something that you didn't expect. But a lot of times in a Shyamalan movie, you can see that twist coming. I certainly saw the twist coming. Like, I figured out what the twist was, like, a little ways into the play. But I remember thinking, like, oh god, that can't be it. That, like, there's got to be something like scarier than that they could do. But I was actually right with what the twist ending was. And I do have to say, like, it still kind of shocked me that A, I was right, and B, it's like, oh my god, that it was kind of creepy what they did for the twist ending, but it was more enjoyable for me to hear the audience around me be like, oh my god, like when they finally like caught on to what the twist ending was. That was my enjoyment in that section, was seeing everybody else figure out the twist ending that I had already figured out a while back. For the technical elements of this show is officially my #1 show that I want to tech. As a lot of you know, I act as well as tech and do a lot of behind the scenes work. I hold a job in the scene shop at my school, and I help build sets and run shows and all of that. This is my #1 show that I want to tech. I want to build this set for it, and I want to work all of the little paranormal activity type things. Like, I want to be the one who figures out like how to make the rocking chair go. Now obviously I know it's probably just like fishing wire that goes across, but like I want to be the one who like pulls the fishing wire and makes it move. I want to be the one who like figures out the hydraulics that will make the door like swing open. And I know I'm like giving away a lot of like theater secrets right now, but that's how it works, and I want to be the one to like figure out how to make it work on stage for this show, and I want to be the one to like press the button and be the one to scare people because of how my little invention works. So altogether, it was an incredible show. I highly recommend it. It is a really famous show here in London. It's been going on at the Fortune Theatre for about 25 years, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend you see it if you are in London, and it's one that I'm really glad that I went to see, and I feel like it was a really good show to experience as my first West End show, and probably one of the few plays I will be seeing while I'm here. The rest are most likely going to be musicals. Now, I wanted to touch on my experience at the stage door with this show. I will include some pictures as well. I did meet the 2 actors, and because it was a Wednesday matinee, I did not expect either of them to come out, and especially because they had a show later in the day, I did not expect either of them to come out, but I was the only one at the stage door, and they did come out, and it was really nice to actually like have a conversation with them because I was the only one there. They were really, really sweet, and I will show you. I had it open, but of course it went away. They signed my playbill. They brought their own silver Sharpie out and signed my playbill and personalized it for me, and so that was very, very nice of them. And fun fact, I don't know if this is for all shows in the UK, but unlike America, where we get a free playbill every time we see a show, I actually had to buy this program for £4, but to me it was totally worth it. I love having the playbills. As you can see in my playbill collection video, I collect them, I keep them, and I also collect t-shirts from shows, but this show actually didn't have any t-shirts to sell, and so I automatically said that I have to buy a program because I need something to remember this by. And both actors were very sweet when they came out, and they asked me, because obviously they could tell I was American, and they're like, oh, are you here on a trip? I was like, no, I'm studying abroad here. And they're like, oh, that's really awesome, that's really cool, really glad you come out and see the show. And they were super, super nice, and I'm really glad I got to stage door and I got to meet them. Alright guys, so that's it for my review of The Woman in Black. I really hope you enjoyed the video this week, and I will be doing more reviews of the shows I see here on the West End as my study abroad progresses. Like and comment on this video and subscribe to our channel down below, and in the description box follow all of our social media links. We have Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. We are working on getting a Facebook page, so once that is up and running, that will be down below as well. I will see you on Thursday for another theater-related vlog, and just a heads up, next Monday's study abroad vlog will be posted on Tuesday because I am going to Paris next weekend. So I will be filming and taking pictures all throughout my adventures in Paris, and that will be the vlog next week. So I will see you on Thursday, and I hope you have a great few days. Bye! and I had no idea why I was being approached. But of course I had that mentality of, oh my god, somebody actually thinks I'm pretty, somebody actually wants to take pictures of me and put me in a magazine. Oh my god, okay, I'll do it. Literally what was going through my head. Really embarrassed about that now, but I